Number 10. Bucket wheel excavators. If you think you've seen massive vehicles before, wait till you see this. This enormous vehicle is a bucket wheel excavator, first built in the 1990s and certified as one of the world's largest and heaviest series of land vehicles. Despite the intimidating chainsaw-like wheel, these machines only cut through the earth. They haven't yet been used as weapons. BWEs can be as large as 315 feet tall and 738 feet long. Bucket wheel excavators of this size are typically used in continuous mining systems. As the machine's front wheel turns, big buckets attached to it sweep up the dirt and drop it onto a conveyor belt. Number 9. MSC Guangzhou. I'm going to have to beg you to hold your excitement for this next vehicle. If you need assistance, just ask the MSC Guangzhou, one of the world's largest container transportation ships. On its enormous deck, the MSC can transport almost 23,000 cargo. Its dimensions are 203 feet broad and 1,312 feet long, and it can transport conventional 8-foot wide cargo containers in rows of 24 across the seas. If the same work were accomplished on land, it would take around 44 8,000-foot-long trains. The MSC Guangzhou can transport weight equivalent to 47,512 vehicles or 2.94 million washing machines in a single voyage. Alternatively, if you prefer your comparisons to be a little fruitier, 223 million bananas. However, you wouldn't want to convey anything that requires a quick delivery in this manner because the ship's massive operational tonnage means it only has a top speed of 21 knots. For those who prefer roads to oceans, that's around 24 miles per hour. But with that much cargo on board, I'd be alright with waiting. Number 8. World's largest Willys Jeep. If the adage, larger is better holds, then antique American vehicles are no exception. But I'm not talking about the approximately 20-foot-long antique cars like the 1979 Lincoln Continental or 1973 Chrysler Imperial LeBaron. I'm considering the big picture. This particular image. Sheikh Hamad bin Hamdan Al Nahyan owns the world's largest operational Willys Jeep replica. It's around 4 times the size of a regular Willys Jeep. And with a person for scale, you can see exactly how massive it is. This Jeep holds the Guinness World Record for the largest motorized model car in the world. The Sheikh's Instagram demonstrates that he is a huge admirer of powerful engines, and when it comes to vehicles, money isn't an issue for this member of the United Arab Emirates royal family. He has refused to say how much the 20-foot replica Jeep costs to build, but internet sleuths estimate that the massive earth mover tires are worth at least $40,000 each. While it is one of the most beautiful homages to Jeep design ever made, we're not sure how practical it would be to drive. Number 7. BHP Billiton Train. Most people would mistake this for a typical freight train, but it is one of the legendary long BHP Billiton iron ore trains that traverse the Australian deserts. Just look at how long they are. They resemble enormous metal snakes weaving their way across the landscape. And this isn't even their final appearance. When BHP smashed the world record for the longest and heaviest freight train in 2001, they reached new heights, or more correctly, new lengths. The 682-carriage train was 4.5 miles long and ran between Yandy Mine and Port Hedland in Western Australia. This required the use of 8 diesel locomotives to transport nearly 90,000 wet tons of iron ore. The total gross tonnage of the convoy was about 110,000 tons, which is roughly the same as the 488 Statues of Liberty. This was the kind of world record they'd been training for, I suppose. Number 6. Hitachi X86. Some projects will always necessitate a little more muscle than one man and a shovel, and the Hitachi X86 is the tool of choice for those jobs. This massive mining excavator, pictured here at a coal mining factory in Mozambique, is almost 70 feet long when fully extended. That massive shovel is designed to carry over 170,000 pounds of material, which is equivalent to lifting the Endeavour space shuttle. This vehicle may be capable of lifting massive quantities of weight, but it was not designed for speed. With a top speed of only 1.2 miles per hour, the track-based travel mechanism is not suitable for drag racing. Instead of encouraging speed, the machine's lower rollers and track shoes were built to make its massive body stable, which weighs roughly 800 tons on its own. That is roughly equivalent to 4 Statues of Liberty. That is what we call a heavy lifting monument. Let's have a look at some more massive vehicles that will leave you speechless. Number 5. Liebherr T284 mining truck. Mining operations are among the world's largest endeavors, and the biggest projects require the biggest equipment. The Liebherr T284 mining truck is a true beast. With its total width of almost 32 feet and a height of more than 27 feet, this vehicle is roughly the height of a two-story building and has a driving speed of 39.7 miles per hour. Vehicles of this type, sometimes called haul trucks, are used to transport large amounts of soil or other material from one location to another in a single trip. But what's most intriguing about this truck is that it has one of the lowest empty vehicle weights for its massive dimensions. Number 4. ETF MT240. The Slovenian business ETF is known for producing some of the world's largest mining equipment, and the MT240 is no exception. While it is still in development, when it hits the market, this massive mining haul truck will be over 24 feet tall, 22 feet wide, and 70 feet long. That makes it longer than the Belaz 75710, the world's largest mining haul truck. But it's not only about the size, it's also about how you use it. Am I right, guys? Because although the new MT240 has a payload of 218 tons, the Belaz 75710 has a payload of 496 tons. However, the MT240 has a few mechanical tricks up its sleeve that may put it ahead of the competition. For starters, the dump cycle will include a swivel hoist system that will allow the truck to dump its load 90 degrees to the side, making it easier to unload on tight roads. Number 3. Airlander 10. The Airlander 10 has one truly unique characteristic, and it isn't the fact that its back end resembles a massive bubble butt. This blimp-like aircraft is 302 feet long from nose to tip, with plans stated in 2020 to extend that even further to 320 feet. This makes it at least 45 feet longer than the previously described Antonov 225 Maria, which measures just 275 feet. The Airlander's engine's vectored thrust, helium-filled hull, and smart aerodynamics make air travel in the Sky Beluga far more efficient than ordinary planes. That's because the helium's natural buoyancy offsets the majority of the airframe's weight, which tops the scales at only 44,100 pounds. Assuming it was carrying its maximum cargo of 10 tons, it would emit around 75% fewer emissions than comparable competitor aircraft. But this green tech endeavor hasn't always been smooth sailing, thanks in part to a series of botched test flights, including this one in 2016. Number 2. Antonov 225 Maria. It's a bird, isn't it? Is it a bird? Oh, that's a plane. But not like any other plane you've ever seen. The Antonov An-225 Maria is the world's heaviest and largest single-fuselage airplane. This strategic airlift cargo aircraft was designed in Ukraine during the 1980s when it was still under Soviet authority. The An-225 was constructed with 32 wheels across its landing gear to carry these massive cargoes during landing and takeoff, providing its massive body extra mobility and support. The wings of this jet are as long as 4 18-wheelers stacked end-to-end, with a massive 288-foot wingspan. They're not just for show. Each wing houses 3 massive turbofan engines when most commercial airplane wings only house 1. The An-225 can fly with a maximum payload of nearly 500,000 pounds thanks to the increased power. This means that this front and rear loading Sky Mammoth can transport practically anything. Number 1. NASA Crawler Transporters. It's not simple to send a rocket into space, but have you ever wondered how it gets to the launch site in the first place? NASA, on the other hand, prefers to go the slow and steady path in the space race with a pair of 130-foot wide behemoth machines known as crawler transporters. For more than 55 years, these massive machines have moved rockets and spacecraft from the Kennedy Space Center assembly building to the launch grounds. Each transporter weighs nearly as much as 100 Sherman tanks, weighing in at 3,150 and 3,300 tons, respectively. Because of their massive weight, they can only go at about 1 mile per hour with a top unloaded speed of 2 miles per hour. Even if their size intimidates you, you should be able to outrun both crawlers with ease. What they lack in speed, however, they make up for in loading capacity, with each capable of carrying an average of 8,000 tons. That equates to more than 25 fully loaded Boeing 777 aircraft. They transported their first rocket in 1966, and the last time they were genuinely put to use was in 2011, when they moved the mobile launcher for the Space Launch System. However, they may be seen again in 2024, when NASA's Artemis satellite mission is set to launch. Which of these massive cars piqued your interest the most? Let us know in the comment section below. And that's all for today, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on another wonderful video from us. Till next time.